Warning, the following podcast contains adult content, adult language, and adult situations. I talk openly about sex and explicit topics. If you are under the age of 18 or are uncomfortable listening to sexually explicit narratives, please listen no further. I am not a professional therapist, counselor, or doctor. I'm just an average guy in the swinger lifestyle who likes to share his experiences. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Please seek a professional if you are in need of advice, guidance, or care as it relates to sexual health or alternative lifestyles. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Evan Swings, a podcast about the swinger lifestyle, all from a male point of view. I am Evan, your host. My wife is Eva, and I just talked to her, and actually she just told me that she would be willing to come on a future episode of the show as a co-host. So right now, we are planning that for episode 8, tentatively. So still a little while to go before that episode. This is only episode 4. But just letting you listeners know, Eva will be probably making an appearance in the relatively near future. Pretty exciting. I didn't think she would ever want to do that. So, very happy right now. But episode 8 is going to be a whopper of an episode. Very interesting tale that we have for you. And she wants to be a part of it. Very exciting stuff. If you're new to the show, I advise you to stop right here and go back and listen to episode 1. I give a lot of introductory info about myself, my wife, and our decision to become swingers. And then I have been kind of retelling our adventures since then in a chronological order. Now again, this is episode 4, and I am pleased to announce that I have my first fan, a buddy of mine. He says he's been listening to my podcast so far and has been enjoying it. So, at least, well, he says he's been enjoying it. Maybe he's just being nice, but I wanted to give him a shout out. So, CH, thank you for the support. And I'm just giving his initials there, protecting his identity. Anyway, back to the show. Believe it or not, this is actually the second time I've recorded this episode. Recorded the whole thing the first time and realized my mic was off the entire time. So here I am recording this at 1 a.m. It is a redo. I've had a hard time finding opportunities to record episodes because my damn kids won't leave the house. And the walls, I'm in my home office right now, and the walls are very thin. And my daughter would not leave the couch all day today. And I couldn't record while she was right there. She would have heard much through that thin wall that we have. All right, so if you've made it through some of the first 3 episodes, you'll know already that my wife Eva and I have been in the lifestyle for almost 3 years at the time of this recording. Now this is going to sound just so ridiculously corny, but it's true. Our time in the lifestyle has only made our marriage stronger. We've never felt closer as a couple as we have since we started having sex with other people. It just sounds so crazy, but my wife is now my best friend, whom I keep no secrets from. We share everything. And I never thought I would say this, but we're having more fun in our late 40s than we ever had in our 20s and 30s combined. It is truly an absolutely wonderful, wonderful thing. If someone asked us, what is the secret to your happy marriage? An honest answer would probably be good communication and having sex with multiple partners. we can't even think what our life would be like now if we had not joined the lifestyle. But actually, there was a time in the last few years when I thought for a moment that the lifestyle was taking on too much of a prominent role in our lives. Like I would check messages every day, several times a day, many times a day. Like I would think about it all the time. Like it would just always be on my mind. But after listening to other podcasts and just experiencing the lifestyle ourselves, I don't feel it's a bad thing. It has become such a huge, important, defining part of our lives. And that's okay. That's a good thing. It gives us purpose and direction. And it gives us a social life, which I believe is a significant, important part of life, just having a social life. Before the lifestyle, our vanilla social life was pretty non-existent. I would say maybe once a month, maybe, we would get together with some vanilla friends for dinner or play some games. But that was it. Oh, had to stop the recording there again, picking up where I left off. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, our social life was pretty non-existent. So we'd get together with some vanilla friends for dinner, play some games, but that was it, okay? We mostly just sat at home, watched TV, watched movies. That was our lives. We kept busy with our kids. You know, they had sports and activities, but other than that, we really had no social life. But the lifestyle changed all that. Now, we go out just about every other weekend. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what family stuff or house stuff we had to do, but it has completely changed our lives for the better. So no, I don't think it's a bad thing to spend so much time on something that brings us so much happiness and makes our lives and our marriage so much better. Now, Eva has to manage it differently from me, though. She has ADD, and she can find too much lifestyle stuff to be distracting and overwhelming. She doesn't use any of the lifestyle apps. Okay, that's all me. She doesn't have Kik on her phone. So just real quick, just in case you don't know, Kik is a messaging app, that you can just text and send messages, pics, things like that. She only has Kik on her iPad, which she does not use much at work. She usually just accesses Kik on her iPad at home. But me, I check my phone when I wake up. I check it sometimes during my lunch break at work, after work, throughout the evening. You just never know when someone new and interesting is going to like your profile or introduce themselves. You never know when you'll come across that next amazing couple. And of course, I want to keep in touch with the wonderful lifestyle friends that we have already made. So let's get right into our next adventure. Now, our last adventure was in the summer of 2021 with the gamer couple. So you can check out my last episode to hear about that one. So August and September were pretty dead in terms of lifestyle action for us. We had plenty of interactions online, but no actual meetups. I would say we were still in the learning phase, the feeling things out phase. So my next story doesn't take place until a hotel takeover in Cincinnati around Halloween of 2021. It was another takeover put on by Play Champagne, and shout out to them. They do a fantastic job putting these things on. And we went into it knowing the gamer couple would be there, but no one else we really knew. And at that point, we had decided that we were not really interested in playing with the gamer couple again. No, we hope to stay friends, but keep things outside the bedroom. Now, during this evening, at one point, I will say that gamer guy did walk up to Eva on the dance floor and start kissing her. But that was the extent of it. So basically, we were walking to the hotel takeover with a clean slate, and we were hoping to meet new people. For the first night, I was dressed as Han Solo, and Eva was dressed as Princess Leia. She looked so hot, my friends. And it wasn't even the gold bikini. All you Star Wars fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. It wasn't the gold bikini from Return of the Jedi. It was the New Hope outfit, the simple white dress. But Eva rocked it, especially when her nipples got hard. Now, onto the party, okay? We saw who I have referred to in previous episodes of this podcast as the hottest woman on the Champagne site, in my opinion. I actually even sent her and her husband a message over the course of that weekend to introduce ourselves. More foreshadowing for a future episode. Now, we hadn't ever spoken in person yet, and they never responded to that message yet. And at the time, we assumed they were not interested. I mean, I thought, figures. She was the hottest woman on the site, out of my league. Why would she have any interest in me or us? But again, that's some foreshadowing. So anyway, we saw a lot of people we recognized, but none of those people were people we were truly interested in or felt we would have a connection with. There was another couple, friends of the gamer couple, who we met for the first time, and they were very nice, but we had no interest in playing with them. We also ran into this couple who I will refer to as the Addams couple. So it was a costume party, and they were dressed as the parents from the Addams family. And I forget the character names. Morticia maybe was the woman, maybe? Morticia and Gomez maybe? I don't know. Well, we chat a little bit, but that was about it. But she was absolutely smoking hot. Okay, they were of South American descent, I believe. So they spoke with an accent. Her accent was just so sexy. Oh, man, was I wanting to do naughty things with her. But of course, I was too shy to really talk to them at that moment and express interest. Like right there in the big crowd of people on the dance floor, I was just, too shy. There was this other couple who was dressed as Squints and Wendy Peppercorn from The Sandlot. And Eva actually thought the dude was super cute. And I thought Wendy was super hot. So we actually talked to them a little bit. And I ended up giving them our profile name. And later on, after the takeover, they ended up reaching out to us. They were from Louisville. So that made things really difficult to plan. So we actually ended up never getting together with them. And we haven't spoken to them in a long time. And it's too bad. I really did like them. They seemed super nice too. But back to the takeover. In the meantime, another couple seemingly expressed some interest in us. I'll call them the vodka couple because they apparently loved vodka. Or maybe a different beverage, and I'm just using vodka as a secret name. So they chat with us for a bit, but honestly, my mind was too focused on the Addams couple to even realize they were showing interest. Well, let's be completely honest here. I'll fill all you listeners in on something about me. I do not read people well. I do not take hints. 3 years into this, and I still have a very hard time judging whether other couples are interested in us or when a woman is interested in me. I really require bluntness. I would much rather have a woman come up to me and say, I think you were really hot, and I want you to fuck me. But unfortunately, I haven't run into any of those types of women yet. And I usually rely on Eva, who is a much better reader of signs and hints than I am. So we talked and danced with the vodka couple, but I kept my eye on the Addams couple. That was night one, and there really isn't a whole lot more to the story for that night. It was pretty uneventful. But I will say this. This hotel was way more conducive to a hotel takeover than the first one we went to in Indianapolis that I mentioned in a previous episode. In fact, I would say that this hotel was perfect for it. So they basically turn the entire hotel's first floor into a nightclub. And the rooms are all suites, so they all have like a living area and like a mini kitchen. It's just awesome. So at the time of this recording, we've been to 4 hotel takeovers at that location. And Champaign just does an absolutely amazing job with it. So we had a good time, met some good, nice people. We danced, Eva and I danced, and I also got a very interesting text, which I will tell you all about next episode. My next episode is going to be a very, very significant one. So I will tell you all about the text I received next episode, and it will all make sense. But back to that particular occasion. Got back to the room, and I jumped on Champagne's Facebook page and was just kind of looking through. People were posting pictures from that evening, and lo and behold, the Addams couple had posted a photo of themselves in their costumes. So now, I had their profile at my fingertips and a way to contact them. So I reached out to them and said something like, hey, we are Evan and Eva. It was nice meeting you at the party tonight. We hope to see you again. Something like that. They responded the next morning and seemed happy that we reached out. So we chatted a little bit, and they asked if we wanted to meet them in the lobby to continue our conversation in person. And actually, it wasn't a lobby. It was, I guess it's called the atrium. It's like the area where they serve breakfast in the mornings. So hell yes, we wanted to do that. So we did. And it was a lovely conversation. She was absolutely stunning. My God, she was stunning. And Eva found the guy very handsome as well. They were very well educated, very intelligent, easy to talk to. And it seems we liked similar things, like Marvel and Harry Potter. And just being honest here, Eva is more of the Harry Potter fan than I am. But we all seemed to get along. We liked similar things. We had discussions about movies and things like that. They asked us if we wanted to go out to dinner that night before the hotel party really got going. We immediately accepted. But then we quickly realized we had told the gamer couple and the friends they introduced us to that we would go out to dinner with them. So, it was their friend's birthday, and they wanted to get a big group to go and celebrate. We obviously didn't know them well, but, Eva and I, we're people of our word, and we would have felt bad backing out. So instead, we asked the Addams couple if they wanted to come along and join us. And they said yes, they love meeting new people. Well, it sounded great, but it did not go as great as we would have hoped. So there seemed to be a major difference in the, I don't know how to say it, the personalities maybe, the personalities of the people who attended. There just wasn't any chemistry between us and the big group. So you had Eva, myself, and the Addams couple. And then you had the gamer couple, their friends. Eva was also a little embarrassed to be seen with a particular one of the friends. We went to a very public place, and she went dressed very scantily. She had fishnet stockings and a revealing outfit. Eva does not like drawing attention to herself in public, so she was uncomfortable. Now, the lifestyle is all about being yourself and doing what you want to do. But in this public place, it just didn't feel right to someone who didn't like public attention. And to be honest, the Addams couple seemed to be uncomfortable too. So not only that, but then I made a critical error. In our conversations with the Addams couple, they asked how we had gotten into the lifestyle. Now, I find it very easy to let my guard down, and I wind up saying things that generally don't need to be said. It's a flaw I have, okay? I ramble, okay? Especially when I email or when I text, I use words that I don't need to use. I'm very wordy. So the words were flowing for me. And I started talking about how I used to be Catholic and now I'm not, so I don't feel like I need to follow Catholic rules. And I don't know what their religion was. I don't know, but I don't think it sunk in well with them. Like, I don't think they necessarily agreed with my commentary about that. I don't know, just a hunch. And that's what Eva kind of said too. But you live and you learn. And I learned for sure that there really isn't a place for discussion of religion in the lifestyle. And I think I mentioned that in my first episode. And definitely, especially with people that I just met and who I hope to have sex with. So I wasn't careful enough. We left the restaurant and then we headed back to the hotel, and we left it as a, we'll see you tonight sort of thing. Long story short, we did not talk to them much later that evening. A little bit. And we certainly did not dance with them like I had hoped. She was wearing this tight, lacy thing with a thong on, and she had an amazing butt. I so wanted to dance with her. But we didn't. After the hotel takeover, just a quick little side story here, we stayed in touch, and they seemed to show some level of interest in us, but not enough to say, hey, let's meet somewhere halfway between us. They lived in Indianapolis, and they kept saying, if you're ever in Indianapolis, let's get together for dinner. Instead of saying something like, hey, we know you live in the Dayton area, let's meet somewhere halfway, or let's go somewhere together. So, so eventually that fizzled out. And we haven't talked to them in, I'd say, well over a year. And you know what, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, we haven't seen any profile updates either, so maybe they left the lifestyle. I don't know. Let's get back to that last evening, though, the hotel takeover, night 2. Now, something I have to remind you of right away because it will be important here soon. I mentioned this in my second episode, but with a hotel takeover, they usually have an after party that takes place on the top floor. It usually starts around midnight, and people, the DJ comes up too, and people start dancing, and people start losing a lot of their clothes and walking around in sexy outfits or less. And there were also open playrooms on the top floor, which at this particular hotel was the 5th floor. So just keep that in mind. It will all make sense shortly. So we're back on the dance floor, and the vodka couple finds us. We talked and danced together and just kind of hung out with them. Now, I'm oblivious at this point, and Eva still laughs about this to this day. She loves reminding me about this. I had no idea that they were showing interest in us. I thought they were just being friendly and hanging out with us. But that all quickly changed with what to this day is the best pickup line I have ever heard. So Vodka Guy is dancing with Eva, and he asks her, "So, will you guys be coming to the 5th floor tonight?" And she responded yes. Then he asked a follow-up question. He said, "The question is, will you be coming on the 3rd floor tonight?" Their room was on the 3rd floor, and that was just an amazing, genius pickup line, in my opinion. I mean, are you coming to the 5th floor? Oh, well, will you be coming on the 3rd floor? I wish I could steal it and use it, and maybe I will someday. But when Eva told me what she was just asked, it didn't register with me. Again, she laughs about this and makes fun of me about this to this day. She had to explain what was actually being asked. They were inviting us to play with them. Stupidly, I was still holding on to hope for the Addams couple. But thankfully, I was smart enough to quickly realize that was not going to happen. The vodka couple was super hot and apparently attracted to us. So I was like, yes, let's do it. And Eva agreed. So we went to their room shortly after midnight and just talked for a while and had a few drinks. But I was very surprised at how matter of fact they were. You know, obviously they were way more experienced than us, so they knew what they wanted, knew how to initiate things, and were ready to go. So they asked us about their rules, and there wasn't a whole lot of like touchy-feely lead up. I remember she straight up asked, "So where do you guys want to play? Out here or in the bedroom?" It was like, okay, we're done talking, let's move on to the fucking. You know, it was just so matter of fact. And honestly, that was just fine. So we decided to play in the living room area. And so we started playing on the couch. And I got to experience another first. Fake boobs. I got to play with fake boobs for the first time. Firmer than I anticipated. And then her chest wasn't even that large, so it was like, you know, it wasn't like I was playing with these giant fake tits. All right, they were like average sized boobs, but they were fake. It was nice. It was interesting. I could check that off my list. I played with fake boobs, and things progressed very quickly. She sucked my dick. I went down on her. Eva sucked his dick. He went down on her. You know, pretty much normal stuff. And I tried the move on her, which is the new fingering technique that Gamer Guy taught me. Check my last episode if you want to hear more about that. But she actually didn't like it. And, you know, that's something I've learned, that some women actually love this move, but other women simply do not. But we did plenty of other stuff. You know, she wanted to ride me on the couch, so I was very happy to oblige. I had taken my Viagra, so I was hard and I was good to go. And so she fucked me for a little bit while Eva played with the dude on the couch. So we were all there on the couch in this living room area of the suite, and he started on top of her, but then, if I remember correctly, Eva rode him for most of the time. I ended up bending her over the ottoman, and I fucked her basically until I came. Eva seemed to be going and going. The dude seemed to be enjoying himself very much, but I could tell something was off. And remember, I don't read people, I don't take signals, so for me to notice something was off, something was off. So eventually he finished and everyone seemed happy. We said we would keep in touch, but after a few messages back and forth, we never heard from them again. We kind of figured it would go that way because when they first started talking to us, she actually had to ask us if we had ever met and played with each other before. So that could only mean, someone who has played a lot, like has had a lot of experience. And she even mentioned at one point, she actually said the words, "Oh my gosh, we're just such sluts." When we got back to our room prior to the reclaim sex, I talked to Eva and I found out exactly what felt off. Apparently, he had a tiny dick. Now, Eva jokingly, or kind of jokingly at least, said that it would take 3 dicks of his size to equal the size of a normal size dick. Now, I couldn't tell. Whenever we play, I don't really make it a habit to inspect the other guy's wiener. Even if I watch, and I trust me, I love to watch. I like to glance over and watch Eva take another guy's dick as much as I can, really. But it's not something I would ever really notice. Now, if it was massive, I'm sure I would notice. But not if it's small. And apparently, it was super small. Eva says that she was actually squeezing her pussy around it as tight as she could and still could barely tell it was inside her. Now, friends, I have to admit something to you. Eva has a pretty tight pussy. Other men have commented on it several times. So, for her to say she could hardly feel the dick inside her, even when she squeezed as hard as she could, it must have been small. So, needless to say, despite enjoying ourselves, we had a good time. Eva was not entirely satisfied. Now, thankfully, the reclaim sex helped take care of that. Now, as I do these episodes and recall our adventures from memory, I try to let you, the listener, know, what we have learned from each adventure, because usually we do learn something. Something new comes from it. Be it about the lifestyle, ourselves, a new sex technique like last episode, just whatever, whatever we learned. So this adventure, we learned a few things. Number 1, I learned what fake boobs feel like. Number 2, I learned an amazing pickup line. Number 3, I learned that some women will not like the move. And then number 4, and we learned that size does, in fact, matter. You always hear the sayings about how size doesn't matter. What matters is how you use it. But Eva will attest to this. That is simply not true. Having a super small dick will be something that is noticed, at least by Eva. And it will honestly result in sex not being as pleasurable as expected. Okay, at least for Eva. So that was late 2021. Little did we know that our next adventure would be quite eventful. That's in my next episode, and I hope you will tune in to hear all about it. It is a doozy. Until then, this is Evan Dienson. You can find me at that name on Kik or Instagram. That's at Evan Dienson, EvanDeanson, Evan Dienson. Now, I don't check Instagram often, so please be patient if you contact me there. But I would love to hear from listeners. If you're always welcome to hit me up with questions or comments. That'll give me some things that I can include in future episodes. I would love to, address topics that you guys would like me to address. Just please be respectful if you do reach out. If you don't like what I'm saying, simply don't listen to me anymore, okay? Nobody's forcing you to listen to me. So let's keep things civil and respectful, please. So until next time, take care, everyone, and happy swinging.